Good day down at the plot for the first time this week. It's Tuesday afternoon. I brought peelings down for compost, and as I was coming in, Skanky Frog was just down here and I saw him or her jump into skanky water. Oh, I'm not sure if we can. No, I can't see anything down here. But what you might be able to see, oh, I'm not there. Can you see that movement? There's frog in the upturned compost bin pond. He knows we're here, obviously. Yeah, hopping away. He's over there now. Oh, look. Can you see there? Oh, there's a couple in there, which is lovely. And the other thing that I was looking at was this oregano covered in honeybees, and there's loads of butterflies. I mean, just look at them. Look at the butterflies. I know I said last week that it's a good year for butterflies, but I've really never seen so many as we've got here. And a few bumbles on this one today. I did say that I think butterflies and honeybees prefer the oregano and the bumblebees prefer the lavender. And certainly when the sun is out, the lavender is covered in bumbles. But when it's a little bit cooler, they seem to just go for whatever they want to go for. Oh, look. This is what I was talking about the other day. Can you see those spots? This is the southern green shield bug. And this, I think, did, can't get the info, all of that damage to our broad bean seeds. Yeah. Oh, I had a good look the other day and I couldn't see any, but clearly clearly they're still around. Yeah. And that reminds me, I must contact my friend at the RHS to ask about southern green shield bugs and the damage they do. Anyway, right, I'm got a bit of seed sowing to do today, so I'm going to get on with that. It really is a mixed day of sunshine and grey skies. There's a lot of cloud, and when the sun goes behind the cloud, it gets really sort of quite grey. When the sun is out, it's absolutely glorious. I was going to do this piece in the poly, but it's just so bright in there that I had to come back into the shed. So there we are, I'm doing it here. So what am I sowing today? Well, I mentioned last week Autumn King carrots. So I will be sowing those in shallow drills in the bed that we took the early potatoes out of last week and the bed that we prepared for sowing carrots. I've also decided, even though it's a bit late, I've also decided to direct sow some fennel. These were fennel seeds that we were sent a good few years ago, actually. So I'm not sure if they're viable, but we will see. If they are, they will germinate. If they're not, they won't. I'm going to sow them in exactly the same way. Shallow drill, about 1 centimetre deep, and then thinly sown, and then the soil turned back over on them. I'm also going to sow some of these in modules as well, because I think it would be quite good to grow some on and put them into the polytunnel. So we will be taking quite a few things out of the polytunnel in maybe 6 weeks, 2 months time, and hopefully by then in the modules these will have germinated and grown quite well, and we can just take the whole module out like you've seen me do before and put those into the beds in the poly. And finally, where is it? We're also going to be sowing some Swede. This is Wilhelmsburg. Again, seed I've had quite a long time. It's been in the fridge in dry conditions in a airtight box for years, so it's been kept well and at cold temperatures, so fingers crossed. Again, I'm going to be modular sowing these very much like we modular sowed the brassicas a week or so ago, the Nero di Toscana / Portuguese cabbage cross that we sowed, that are actually doing really well there. In fact, 13 of the 12 seeds that I sowed have germinated. So yeah, I think I actually accidentally sowed 2 in one module, but I'm going to pick the 13th one out. Though is 13 sort of like a baker's dozen? Is it a bit lucky? Maybe I'll leave it in. In fact, I'll leave it in. Anyway, let's get on with sowing the carrots and the fennel. I was forgetting what I was sowing. The carrots and the fennel in the bed where we had the potatoes harvested last week. So I made drills that were about 1 centimetre deep, and I sowed 2 rows of fennel on the far end, and I don't know, maybe about 8 or 9 rows of Autumn King carrots. As I say, I'm going to sow some more fennel in modules, so I'm going to get on and do that now. But these have obviously had a really good water as well, because I've just sown them. You want the seed to swell and to germinate, so you need to look after them and water them. If we don't have any rain in the next couple of days, I will also water these again. We've got quite a drying breeze at the moment, and because these are sown in quite shallow drills, even though they've been back covered, the top of this soil can dry out quite easily, so we want to keep those seeds and this soil damp whilst that germination happens. So yeah, if in 2 days we haven't had more decent rain, I'll come back here and just give the whole bed a watering can or 2. Right, now to do some modular sowing. On the right here, I'm going to sow the Swede. As I say, I'm just sowing 1 seed per cell, like we did with the brassicas. If I need to re-sow, I've put 2 in there. If we need to re-sow, I will do. This seed has been looked after, but is sort of quite old, so we'll see how we do. That's that one. Now the fennel, bigger seed, most will be able to see it. Getting a few parakeets back at the moment. Maybe the peregrines are sort of hunting further afield, But yeah, it's quite obvious we've got more peregrine. We've got more parakeets. Yeah, so that's one per module. Just popping seeds in with the end of my finger, just going down about a centimetre. And now topping those up. Be nice and clean if I had my gloves on. Just going to press those down now that there's compost on top of the seed that we've sown. Add further compost just to level them off. Swede this side, fennel this side, even though you can't see them. Some frogs are definitely camera shy, and polytunnel frog is. Let me see. You see him there? That gap is no more than 2 centimeters, and he's squished himself in there. He's fine. I've seen him move, and yeah, he's just in there. I can see his eyes. I'm not sure if you can, but seems quite happy. Right, I'm going to leave him to it. Good day. One of the largest deliveries of wood chip I think we've had for a while, though much of it is pine. In fact, I think all of it is pine. I mean, it smells absolutely gorgeous. Though with pine I wouldn't be putting this into compost due to the acidity, but you know, it's really good for paths and for top dressing blueberries and things like that, so I'll be grabbing some myself to pop on top of our blueberries. Yeah, but yeah, it's just looking around, it's all pine. So we put this with a photo on our WhatsApp group for our allotment association, and hopefully this will be gone within a few days. Fingers crossed. I have filled up my wheelbarrow with some of that wood chip. There's obviously loads left. There's a few people there with their barrows now, sort of filling up their barrows. And we were having a general chat of usage, and what one of the guys said, which I know is what quite a few other people do, is they put it down on their paths, but then it breaks down over a year or so, and then what they do is they scrape their paths and then put what has become broken down and basically compost onto beds, and of course it's lost its acidity by then as well, and then they put fresh one down. So I think that's a really good tip for people. Yeah, I know Vivi does that as well with her wood chip. But I want to get on with lettuce today, so I've got the lettuce seedlings and I want to prick those out and put them into individual modules. So I got to the shed, went into the shed, and a big weighty bag of potatoes. These are second earlies. One of our plot holders here, who does an awful lot for the site, knows that we're not growing very many potatoes this year. So yeah, we got some potatoes from him a few weeks ago. I think they were International Kidney, which is like the Jersey Royal, and now a bag here as well, and I'm sure there'll be more to come. They grow an awful lot of potatoes, and he and his wife have had their plot for decades, like 30 years or something, and it really is a great plot. They've actually got 2 full plots. You're not allowed, new tenants aren't allowed to have more than 1 full plot here, but tenants who've been here a long time that already have more than 1 full plot, they are allowed to keep those until they move from this site, which is great. But yeah, I'm going to get on with pricking out lettuce into modules. So let's have a quick look at those first. So these are Marvel of 4 Seasons seedlings. You can see that these are the cotyledons down here, the small leaves. You see that here and here. These are true leaves. And there's quite a few other leaves coming up in quite a few of them. Some of them are still quite small, like this one here, and there's one here which is quite small, but most of these can be pricked out, and that's what I'm going to do. And they're going to go into modules like this. I think they're going to go into the smaller modules though, so I'm just going to get on and do that. And I usually use a pencil, and I sort of go in with the pencil and then lever it out, and you can see there's some root there, or maybe you can't see, but there's some root there. I'll do the same with this one. And then you just plant this, prick it out like I've done, and then plant it into a module. So let me get on and do that. So just make a hole. Just a little root ball, tap it in, and then just firm it down a bit. I do have 2 here. I'm going to tease them apart gently. Hole, tap it in, firm it down. Little hole, in it goes, firm it down. I got my count wrong. I thought we had 16, but we have 15, but that's fine. I'll just get rid of that compost because I don't want it there by pushing it through the hole at the bottom. Come on. Right, that keeps it nice and clean. So that's our newly pricked out Marvel of 4 Seasons lettuce at the front, and the brassicas, which are the cross between Nero di Toscana and Portuguese cabbage, at the back. When you are pricking out anything, particularly lettuce, because they are very delicate, as is celery and celeriac, things like that, always be gentle with them, but firm. You know, they be gentle and kind, but let them know who is boss. And I'm sure those lettuce will grow on well as long as they're not eaten by slugs or snails. And we'll be looking at them again. Well, we'll look at them over the coming weeks, but maybe we'll be planting them out in a couple of weeks' time, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. It's one of the sort of chatters around the allotment here, and certainly in the allotment community at the moment, about how slow some things are at growing this year. And you know, that's because the weather is so odd. You know, I know we say it's a challenging year, it's an odd year virtually every single year, but to be sitting here now on a mid or late July afternoon and it feeling comfortably chilly, rather than amazingly warm is quite odd, you know. And the changes in temperatures, it really does confuse plants. And I was talking to some friends on email about their peppers in Guernsey, and they're sort of the same size as here, and they haven't had a lot of rain in Guernsey, unlike the rain that we have had here. So they were saying that their peppers are sort of only about 4 or 5 inches tall as well. And I think it's one of those things, you know, the weather isn't conducive where we are for really, really good growing. The conditions are just not quite right. They're not terrible, and you know, thankfully they're not like they are where, you know, in the south of Europe, where there's wildfires and, you know, temperature records being broken. You know, we're absolutely not like that, and I certainly don't want that. But it would be nice if we had a nice prolonged spell now of 6 or 8 weeks of warm weather, or even 10 weeks of warm weather. I think it's going to stay like this for the rest of this week. What it will be like next week, I do not know. But I will obviously be reporting on it. So I'm going to leave it here for this first part of this week's A Week at the Plot. And I'll see you in a few days on YouTube for part 2. And if you've got any comments or questions, please do put them down below, and I will get back to you. I do answer all comments. I mean, we don't have a huge amount, you know, but they do all get answered, so please do. And you know, from your comments we can see how, you know, we're helping certain people in what they are doing. So yeah, I will see you very, very soon. If you're on Planet Vegetarian, I'll see you for segments as we continue through the week. But yeah, any comments, any questions, please do let me know. And I hope that you all have a good growing period, and that the weather warms up for you if you need it to warm up, or cools down if you need it to cool down. See you very soon. Happy growing. Bye.